Daily dose of clarity and context. This is Press Drive on I-FLIER 103.3 FM, IBADAN. Your trusted companion for decoding the headlines and diving deep into the heart of today's stories. From the front pages to the fine print, we will be serving you sharp analysis, diverse perspective, and the information you need to take on the day like a pro. I am MARVELLOUS, SOBALOJU, OYEDELE, and together this morning we will scan the pulse of Nigeria, both local, national, and global. So, buckle up, Ibadan, because it's time to press forward on Press Drive. As you already know, today is the 5th day in the month of August 2025. Our kickstarting the headlines from the Daily Trust newspaper. And here are the headlines on the front page of that paper. Again, Tinubu rewards athletes with 150 million naira each. National honors. That's on page 36. Residents, motorists stranded as flood hits Lagos. That's on page 12. Ex-soldiers protests over unpaid entitlement. That's on page 7. And this is another sad one in the world of education. Alright, WAEC records worst results in 5 years. Parents, others blame CBT for poor performance. Alright, that's on page 3 and 4 of the Daily Trust newspaper. Bandit raids Zamfara villages, abduct 24. That's on page 6. Day-old baby stolen from Ekiti hospital. What exactly is happening? And that's on page 21 of the Daily Trust. Troops kill 17 Boko Haram terrorists in Borno. That's on page 10. And the last one from the Daily Trust newspaper. Ojulari surfaces at public function. That's on page 6 of the Daily Trust. Away from that paper, now to the Punch. From the Punch newspaper, we have the headline: States versus Discos. Power courts begin over tariff impasse. State deviant vowed to dismantle disco strip amid Enugu blackout. That's on page 19 of the Punch. Afrexim Bank leads $4 billion soldiers pressure federal government with Friday deadline. Countdown to 2027. Ghana, Baraje, McAfee in tight race for PDP chairman. Neck divided over Damagun faith. Wike plots counter move as PDP convention drama unfolds. That's on page 2. Tinubu gives the Tigress $100,000 each, flat and OON. You can find that particular story on page 30 of the Punch newspaper. FAAC to recover 101 billion naira from customs after audit report. That's on page 20. And on page 4, $160 million fraud. Vietnamese police arrest 2 Nigerians, 5 accomplices. And on Olubadan, Ladoja waits Makinday's nod after council nomination. That's on page 7 of the Punch. And moving away from the Punch newspaper now to the Nation, we have few headlines here. Let's take them very quickly. African leaders shift focus to healthcare. Patel leads Nigerians team. That's on page 2 of the Nation. Women rights group decries Showere's attack on police women's rights group decries Showore's attack on police women. That's on page 3. 38% of SSC candidates makes 5 credits, including maths, English. That's on page 4 of The Nation. INEC early 2027 campaign violates electoral law. That's coming from INEC, and that's on page 3. 22 die in Niger road accident. God have mercy. That's on page 6 of The Nation. PDP heads for another crisis over congresses. PDP heads for another crisis over congresses, with a writer that says Atiku left PDP in frustration, says Wike, and Damagun Ayawu others to vacate office December 8. You get to check that on page 1, and you continue on page 2 of The Nation paper. Lagos declare Adron, Lekki County, Anchor, 173 other estates illegal. Really? Alright, to get the check page 1, and by extension page 3 of The Nation paper. Tinubu splashes $100,000 flat ON on victorious national basketball team, the Tigress. Check that on the front page, and then you continue on page 3 as well. Ladoja named 44 to Lubadan designate. That's on page 5. Wike threatens to seal off rent defaulters' houses. That also you can find from The Nation newspaper this morning. And the last one we'll be able to take because of time. This is The Guardian newspaper. From The Guardian newspaper, we have these headlines on the front page. On page 3, 2027 Southwest PDP kicks as Wike backs Tinubu, gives fresh conditions for peace. All right, and on page 3 as well, we have this one. Petrol soar to 955 naira per litre as NNPCL marketers hike prices. That's on page 3. APC alleges El-Rufai Atiku constitute threat to Nigerians' peace and unity. That's also on page 3. On page 6 of The Guardian as well, desperation heightened as 2027 campaign begins 15 months ahead. That you can find on page 6. Aso Rock, White House reaffirmed trade ties despite tariff concerns. That's on page 3. Nigeria's oil output hit 1.78 mbpd in July, reduces H1 $5.3 billion revenue shortfall. That's on page 6 of The Guardian. Tinubu rewards the Tigress with national honors, $100,000 each. That's on page 2. Obedience right Wike. I'll take that again. Obedient right Obi. Complaint of exclusion in coalition moves. That's on page 7 of The Guardian newspaper. A lot of stories to discuss this morning. You know, just last week we were celebrating the Super Falcons and how the president has showered them with lots of gifts, both cash and other material things, as well as national honors. The Tigress has won again, and Tinubu has done same. And this is coming in the wake of lot of protests, strike warnings, you know, all not really working as we want it to be, you know, in Nigeria today. Because just now we got a report that yesterday protesting ex-soldiers pressure federal government with Friday deadline. All right, this and more we get to talk about this morning. Another ones we also get to check this morning is the Devastating news of WAEC recording worst result in 5 years. And our parents and others are blaming CBT for poor performance. This we also get to check out this morning as well. And even though we don't do Metro on Press Drive, but I'm just curious, explain to us, how a day-old baby was stolen from Ekiti Hospital. A lot of things happening in Nigeria today. All right, with that, I say welcome once again to Press Drive with Marvelous SOBALOJU OYEDELE, and with me in the house is Barrister Folusho. Good morning to you, sir.
Yes, good morning this morning. How are you today?
I'm fine.
Sorry, I'm a bit late.
Not really.
Yeah. Good morning, Nigerians. It is yet another day. We are blessed with life again today. So we need to glorify the name of God for it. So whatever you want to do it quickly, because procrastination is the thief of the time. Don't steal your own time. Walk, pray, and it shall be well. In Jesus' name, good morning.
All right, remember we're live on Facebook. On Facebook is at I-FLIER 103.3 FM live. At I-FLIER 103.3 FM live. Remember to drop your comment and would love to read from you this beautiful morning. Once again, welcome to Press Drive. Yes, we're going to start with petrol hits 955 naira per litre as marketers NNPCL raise prices. Retail outlets under the nameplate of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited effected an upward adjustment in the pump price of the premium motor spirit, also known as petrol, to 945 naira per litre in the Federal Capital Territory on Monday. They also adjusted their petrol price to 915 naira per litre at several of their Lagos retail outlets, marking a fresh upward shift in the downstream retail markets. The latest increase marks a fresh spike of 45 naira and 35 naira in Lagos and Abuja respectively, up from the previous price of 870 naira and 910 naira per litre. Also, independent marketers effected an increase of 60 naira from 895 naira per litre to 955 naira per litre in Abuja. And in Lagos, the cost ranged from 915 naira to 950 naira, depending on the station of the independent oil dealers. According to reports, as of Monday, petrol prices hovered between 915 and 950 in Lagos, Ogun, and other parts of the southwest. Dangote partners such as MRS and others, AP, sold petrol at 925 naira per litre in Lagos and 935 naira in Ogun State. One of the newsmen who observed said that the NNPCL also jacked up its price on Monday, selling a litre of petrol at 915 naira in Lagos. Filling stations said they were wary of the price volatility, saying they had to raise prices, though the recent stock was purchased before the price surge. The adjustment comes just days after the Dangote Petroleum Refinery increased its ex-depot price of petrol from 825 naira to 880 naira per litre, sparking an industry-wide response. All right, I don't know what to say as regards this price hike, because just last week we were still talking about how they had to drop the price, and we were happy that okay, things are happening, and especially with the fact that before it used to be Dangote that would reduce the price and then every other person seems to follow suit. But this time around, Dangote did not reduce the price as at last week. It was just the independent marketers that just decided to reduce the price. And all of a sudden, here's another news. Everybody seems to have increased theirs. All right. And this is coming when Dangote increased his own price. So what exactly is happening? Is it like a trade battle, or how will I describe or what exactly is happening? Because eventually it's the masses that would, we are happy one side that okay, there's a reduction, and again in less than a week, barely a week, another surge in price. What exactly is responsible for this?
Well, that's the function of the market. One, I am not happy it was reduced, because we are not even supposed to be paying fuel prices, prices for fuel for 900, 800.
It's even actually a ridiculous reduction.
And those reductions, how did it affect us, the transporters? I mean the commuters. The yo-yo that has been playing between NPC and Dangote, and even let's say the market. Let me not just say the two of them. The market, going up and down like an abiku. It just favors the transporters. When they reduce the same, you have to board transport the same amount you were boarding when it was in 1,000 naira. I think the ones we are boarding now has since been there since it was increased to 1,000. In fact, in Ibadan today, I'm not sure you can get a drop for 100 naira anymore. And what would they be complaining about? Increase in fuel prices. So when it is increased, we are paying 900, the price for 1,000 when it was in 1,000. When it was decreased to 800, 845 and 8 those things, we are still paying the same amount we were paying when the price was 1,000. And the reason that was given was that it was only fuel prices that were reduced. The parts of cars and everything was not reduced, were not reduced. So to that extent, it didn't get to the commoners, the common person that ought to have gained from it. And I think that was what Dangote thought about when he said he was going to eliminate the middlemen, these marketers, that is going to eliminate them and be selling directly to the retailers. But that to some extent may gladden our mind, because the marketers seems to be against the people all the time, like what they themselves have admitted now. The commodities they increased its price now were bought last week, and immediately NNPC increased its own, the rest of them increased, irrespective of the fact that they were still selling the one they bought at a more reduced rate. Can you imagine? So to me, it appears they have never been in the side of the people. They are investors, they are capitalists. So they capitalize on making the people, and that is what they do. And that was what Mr. President approved when he said that it is the market that will be determining the price of fuel in Nigeria, that we own the crude. See, there's both the OPEC rules and the Petroleum Industry Act already said, provided that internal consumption of crude by that is crude OPEC rule by OPEC member state should not be measured by international prices. You can determine the price at which you will be selling your crude, your refined fuel to your people, your crude to the refiners. You can even say, okay, because we own it, you give them free, and they will be selling at minimum prices. The Petroleum Industry Act provided that the Nigerian refineries should be supplied with crude ex OPEC prices, meaning that you should not subject your prices that you are selling to these refineries at the rate of OPEC. So meaning that international prices does not determine what we should be consuming in Nigeria. But that is what is happening now, because prices of crude oil increased in the international market. This is what we are experiencing too in Nigeria. And when it goes down, the marketers too will reduce their own, even at that paltry minimum amount of money. To me, I am not really happy, and it appears that the oil sector of this country has been has been taken over by demons because everybody just want to suck the blood of another person, especially those of them that are, you know, operating at that level. So it's not to me, I am not happy. The increases, the reductions are just too minimal. Why can't we be buying fuel for the, let's say, even 500 naira? Because it was not even up to 500 naira when Buhari was there, but suddenly it just went up to 1,000 plus. It goes maybe now around 9. I think I saw one yesterday when I was coming from office. I think it was 980 or thereabout. So why should we be doing this to ourselves? Because we own this thing and the crude is there. Of course it might not be there again, I can see that, because the oil and the gas of this country has been mortgaged for loans. So rather than we having it, we are using it to pay back the loans, and we are still collecting more loans, you know. And we cannot even point frankly what all these loans that we've been collecting all these days, what have we seen? What is the result of that loan on the ordinary people of the street? They'll be telling us GDP has increased. GDP will not increase to an ordinary person who cannot afford to eat a 1 meal a day. Kilonje GDP lọ́dẹ̀ ń tẹ́bí ń pa. A hungry person is a mad person. Rationality is not for somebody that is hungry. Rational, you are talking about being rational. It's not when hunger is there. And that is why the elders will say that tẹ́bí bá ti kúrò nínú iṣẹ́ ti bùṣe, ó ti bùṣe pátápátá ni. So because they know that hunger makes person make a man a mad person. So to that extent, I am not seeing anything that is happening. It is the international prices, and we are being subjected to the whims and caprices of capitalists in Nigeria. And nothing can save us until we decide to save ourselves, until we decide that enough is enough. Like Frederick Douglass, the slave trade abolitionist, said that the oppression of the people, of the oppressed, the oppression of the oppressed is measured by the endurance of the people they are oppressing. So if we continue to endure, they continue to oppress us. But if we say enough is enough, you will see all these things. They know what to do now. They know what to do. In fact, when they came in, they said they were not going to especially this administration said they were not going to borrow any money. That they are going to free the locked debt cap or whatever. There's this name they call it. I forgot now. They said they are going to, and it goes into billions of dollars in this country. So why can't they do that? They just decided to not do it and continue to borrow and borrow last week or thereabout. So what are we doing, and what will happen to that 21 billion? The ones that they have that they have borrowed, what have we seen? The only thing I have seen, I continue to see that, is the rail line between between Lagos and Ibadan. I think that one is there. It's part of the borrowed money. Maybe in fact, and all those projects were during the Buhari era. The 2 years administration of the 2 year term of this government, it has spent 2 years now. What has it done? He said it was going to build roads, build this, and what happens to the human capital? Until and unless we said enough is enough, you will see that they will continue to oppress us. The political class states captured every one of us, but until you say enough is enough, like Charlie Boy too said, he said our mumu don't do. If we begin to think with our head, not with our stomach, then we'll be able to perform better.
Okay, while we are borrowing, it is also important to know that President Bola Tinubu honored Nigerian national women basketball team, the Tigress, with a reward package that includes $100,000 for each player, $50,000 for each member of the 11-man coaching and technical crew. Tinubu also rewarded all team members and staff with a 3-bedroom flat at the Renewed Hope Estate. In addition, the president conferred on the players and their technical crew on the prestigious national honor of Officer of the Order of the Niger. This was announced by Vice President Kasim Shettima at the presidential reception in their honor at the State House Banquet Hall, Abuja. And before you even call me Q Job, because I have to be very careful with you. It's also important to note that, when all of this is happening, just yesterday too, ex-soldiers protested. And right now, they're even threatening the federal government. They said they are giving the federal government till Friday. Else, we don't know what the else means. So all of this is happening. We keep borrowing. I want to know, did we borrow to pay all of this too?
We've been borrowing to pay for everything,
including giving out money,
including even payment of salaries and everything. Where do you think all these monies go to?
But then
and all this buying of presidential jet, building of houses, and 21 billion naira house for Mr. Vice President and all that. Where did you think the money comes from? I'm sorry, I'm laughing. It's just funny. I don't know because it thought about it. When
you don't want to cry, you
just smile. Yes, we thank God for that. You see, I understand you. I understand everybody. I understand myself too. I understand the fact that we need to reward
hard work,
yeah, and to that extent we need to do something for them. And I understand the fact that it's not that people are complaining about the gifts. They are complaining that what is good for the goose is also good for the gander. If you can do that for players, and I know all over the world players are more rewarded than anything. In fact, during the COVID, one professor said it, by the way, that now there is COVID, go and call all the players, football players, now let them come and heal us, because they are the one getting the money. So we see them transfer fee 370 million euros, beginning on dollars and million. So we understand that, and nobody is quarreling about that, and I'm not quarreling too. In fact, I like the retired soldiers that you talked about. Last week or 2 weeks ago,
it was the police.
It was the police.
Retired police.
Now the question is, if somebody works for 35 years, shouldn't you reward the person?
Barrister, if you work for 35 years, can you boast that for 35 years you have 150 million naira?
That's what I'm talking about, and that is where the reward comes in. If, for instance, in South Africa, apart from their pension, there's something they call old age pension. Immediately you are 60 years, apart from the pension, you are given a monthly grant. Immediately you are 60 years, irrespective of that you have a pension. Meaning, and there are some and when you go to some public established like the hospital and everything, as a senior citizen, you won't pay as much as any other person is paying. Meaning that your old age is guaranteed. So, and the old age pension doesn't mean whether you work for government or not. It is because you are just 60 years, whether you work for government or you do not work for government. Here we have contributory pension that at the end of the day, after several years, and at the end of the day they will forget about it, you'll be enjoying your money. And in fact, you can even be given a chieftaincy title, like the Hadi Sirika, the former aviation minister, is giving the head of his village now the title. So what can you do? But he's still answering cases with the AFCC. So you can imagine all these things. If people that are stealing money are being given chieftaincy titles and are being honored, are being called in the front row in every gatherings, then everyone will want to follow suit. There's no accountability. And why is there no accountability? Because when we talk of enforcement of laws, the execution of laws, it's the executive that does that. And the executive we are talking about in this instance are the civil servants. So if the civil servant said, okay, you have made your law, don't worry, and they put the law under their carpet and sit on it, what will happen? The law will be there, and we say we have this law in Nigeria, like I mentioned some time ago somewhere in a platform, that before NEPA can cut your light, you have to be given a notice to that effect, and people were just calling in, Nigeria. I said it is this Nigeria. It is. You have to be given notice first. But all that, I just use that as an example. Who were supposed to execute them? Is it not the civil servants too?
Mm-hmm.
But because they know that if people knows that it might not happen, they may not get their money, especially those in discos. So you can imagine, we are done for. So if we just honor people, that the sports people, and we leave our senior citizens to suffer, we leave our younger ones to suffer, the leaders of tomorrow,
and all other sectors,
and all other
agencies.
What happens to human development? If it is you now, you better run for your life. Leave these places.
Nimet has warned, actually.
Yeah.
And they said
the whole
even
country
till
now,
today, the rain will continue to today. So probably from tomorrow, according to Nimet anyways,
yes,
it might reduce.
Maybe,
Because it's supposed to be
that.
August break now.
Did we have any rain in June and July?
We had rain in June, not in July.
In July we just have what you
so they now shifted to
Oginity is the
yeah,
one
it was
that's
just
very
cool.
cold and all that.
Sure.
What is Oginity in English?
What? I don't know.
Okay, that's just right.
Alright.
So thank God the Ministry of Finance has spoken with the striking
Doctors.
No, soldiers. Yes.
But they still
because
get Friday.
Now, but they promised them they will pay them.
They better.
By Friday.
Because
so,
I really want to see drama, especially from soldiers. Okay, so let's talk about this. Then we open the studio lines. The West African Examination cancels.
Well, let me first clap for
the girls.
But it's okay. I said okay because that one is not. I'm not surprised about that. That girls passed more than boys. In fact, I have been coming to this place at the end of the year, at least for the past 3 or 4 years now, and I have seen successively that is the female that outperforms the male. In fact, in the last one they did I think last week. If you look at the people,
usually when WAEC comes out, we always hear things like, the rate dropped. But according to the Daily Trust newspaper, they said that this is like the worst in 5 years.
Of course.
And I'm always very particular about WAEC and NECO. Usually when NECO will come out now, you see that these students that probably did not perform in WAEC did exceptionally well in NECO. Why?
Because NECO is a Nigerian paper.
What does that mean?
Exam. It means that it's national. So the performance is measured differently from that of WAEC.
Are they not supposed to be using almost the same? Because eventually you can use NECO for whatever it is you want to use WAEC for.
Of course. Me. Well,
I don't want a yes or no. You don't have to explain.
You can judge.
Oh, okay.
You can judge. I leave you to judge, to be the judge on that. But what we are saying is this. WAEC and NECO were supposed to be graded at the same level.
True.
So if after the grading, one appears to be up and one appears to be down, I think there should be happening, or maybe they should meet with WAEC and look at the grade and let grade the people the way it's supposed to be graded.
Okay. Then
secondly, I think the decline in the result, the decline on people that are passing, that one is simple now. How many students read these days? I cannot even compare them to our time when our elders too will tell us I can carry more. I actually carry.
And we should even check their internal exams before they even write the external.
So
what's their performance like?
And you are. I saw a guy was supposed to be writing WAEC.
You're supposed.
Yes, now. I think I asked him, weren't you supposed to be writing WAEC? He said, I'm writing, sir. and you are here watching football. You say Oshi ma the 12 come to Paris, and you will watch the 12 o'clock midnight. What will he do? Go back home and sleep.
You can read. You
and
can read till the next morning.
Okay, and even if he read it the next morning, how will he be able to coordinate his brain to write?
Because you need to rest more.
Because you need to rest. So the I think, I don't know, something is happening to our educational sector. It's not only our education, it's systemic failure. It's part of the systemic failure of this country. Everything appears to be going down. And something have to happen, or else this country is failing. No,
especially when it comes to education,
human capital. God. And that is why a 17-year-old will kill his girlfriend 17 years because of money. What does a 17-year-old?
People are seeing prospect in football and games now. I think that's another way to
how many people
would make it, because everybody cannot be a player.
And everybody cannot represent Nigeria.
And you can actually do better when you're educated.
Good. So majority of them, of those on Osimhen, speak very good English. For instance, I'm just using him as example. Okocha, the rest of them, Rashidi Yekini, they speak well. So they know what to do. These people are ambassadors for their countries. You cannot be a stark illiterate and say we want to ambassador. You even know the meaning of ambassador. In the
best you can do is just play.
And they will give you stipend. And they will give you stipend. You'll be happy. So you can.
Even your contract. Sometimes they can even deceive you, and you just see that you are just playing and not to go for it.
Playing.
It is well.
Your dependable real estate managers. At Anujat Homes and Properties, we offer professional, reliable, world-class services. Build your choice homes in any of our estates across Nigeria. Land and properties bought at Anujat Homes is free from all encumbrances, no extra charges, no land grabbing, no nile wahala. Our land sales come with CFO, red copy survey, and other valid documents. Grab this special offer. Now selling Comfort Estate near Circular Road, Ajia, Matako, Ibadan. There is accommodation for installment payments. Enjoy 500,000 naira discount on any land or property you buy at Comfort Estate, Ajia, Matako. Contact Anujat Homes and Properties at Tinoade Complex, Ginorere 2 of Alakia Iyano Church, Ibadan. Telephone number is 081-6797-9307 or 081-6576-7385. Anujat Home
Environment, accommodating reception, well-equipped laboratory for biology, physics and chemistry, fully furnished classrooms, counseling rooms, key library, halls for conferences, institutions, standby generator, minimat, among others.
Yes!
I-FLIER International School
can boast of inspiring, captivating curriculum, academic excellence, social amenities and structures, as well as the
UTME, mass failure, WAEC, mass failure, NECO, mass failure. Where are we going? The stakeholder in education, the parent, the government, the teacher, to call a solemn meeting. What are the risks? What are the causes? What are the consequences of this mass failure? And channel the way forward. If not so, you are sitting on a keg of gunpowder. Secondly, on the issue of Abuja, the landlord of Abuja, the money we collect that way they will use to do the infrastructure for Abuja city. They should pay their tax waging. They are giving them 2 weeks, 1 month, but still yet, many of these tax reporters are yet to comply. If you work, that is their own fault. Have a nice working day.
Thank you very much, Mr. Labi. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
How are you, ma'am?
Fine.
Good morning this morning, sir. How are you today, sir?
Thank you.
Yes,
sir.
Sir.
I want to start from that's the position where I get for the kid. It's too bad. What all what we are doing, many of us here call me consumer. Send it here call me consumer. Send it. Why? Like we are talking about, it go beyond Nigeria. What society is Nigeria? Nigeria is linked on hand. All this country. And let me tell you as well, the what is called education law that people are started for something that big countries. Ghana and the third one is not school. We need to understand that we have access to this.
Thank you very much, sir. Hello, good morning. All right. because of their selfish interest. They all want to be president. Instead of them to put aside their personal interests and come together to salvage the country from the maladministration of this APC. Atiku especially should jettison his ambition and allow the tickets to be zoned to the south. That's when people can start talking or taking them serious. Thank you very much. Hello, good morning. Mariam Yetunde says, good morning. You're good with English, which isn't surprising. Given the
That's my own submission. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And then he continued to say, we congratulate Super Falcons and the Tigers for their own cash outs and national award reward. However, as we are still battling with insecurity and insurgency, ignoring the yearning of our ex-military men, ex-police officers and others on their welfare packages after retirement is like sitting on a keg of gunpowder. Let the federal government wake up to their responsibilities and do the needful in this regard, not political games of selfish interest of Mr. President. Thank you very much. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, ma.
Good morning to you, sir.
My dear evangelist.
Yes, sir.
Good morning, my able lawyer.
Good morning, sir. Yes, sir. Right, sir.
Tajidin Doka speaking from Akara.
You're welcome, sir.
Is this government? No, I do not pray for the goose. It's also good for the ganders. It's not only the public servants alone, even the masses. I am saying it since the time of this MAPLA's cash swaps. Many Nigerians are still wallowing in poverty now. Many businesses that were grounded, that died, that time couldn't survive again. If this kind of money, they are giving one person 160 million naira. Look at, and most of these people, they are rich already. I'm not saying they shouldn't be compensated. They deserve it. But why that exorbitant amount? Whereas the majority of Nigerians are suffering. That means that our politicians, they are deliberately afflicting us, tormenting us. And that's why I'm saying we need prayers. God will rescue us. He knows how he will intervene. Let's keep on calling upon God. Nigerian politicians, they don't mind the masses. Good morning.
Thank you very much, Daddy Ayodele. Adedamola Okunlola says, beautiful morning to you. The government, particularly the federal government, should invest more in the educational sector. The result we get from this student is discouraging. Good teachers should be employed like what Governor...
Oyedele quarters.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
I am a retired NECO officer.
All right, good.
The problem of education is the policy maker. The question of a NECO, neither